Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open. I'm Inverum.
I'm Glitter Explosion.
And we're back for another week, another recap, another show, more amazing mobile esports action. Glitter, there's no place I'd rather be. Let's be real.
I agree. Not only do I enjoy being able to work with you, Paul, but every single week we have people, we've got players, teams stepping up to the plate, and they have been putting on a show for us.
Let's all not notice how long it took me to figure out which
direction was.
I was letting it go. That's true. That's true. You know, things I can't let go though on that point is how good the play was this week. Oh my goodness. Like there was some thought that maybe like things would start to slow down a little bit. Players would shake off some of the jitters, but nah, we keep seeing play after play after play. And considering what the ESL Mobile program is all about, that seems absolutely fitting. A place for you to get involved in mobile esports, whether you're an absolute amateur, whether you're a top tier competitive player, we've got action for everybody. So it makes sense that the action continues week over week, not just here in North America, but across the globe, Glitter, because that's one of the great things about this program now is the fact that we are a global program.
Yeah, global competition, 5 different titles, okay? Not only is that one of the best parts, but the other part, I kind of alluded to before, anybody can sign up with us, anybody can join, and it gives you that opportunity to not only play against some of the best in your individual title, but start making a name for yourself. And we have seen in many of our games, both individuals and teams doing just that.
Oh, for sure. I mean, what better way to really start to engrave your name as part of the community than to beat some of the best already established players? And definitely see a bit of that here. But look, there's a lot going on with the Mobile Open and ESL Mobile as a whole this season. So let's take a look at exactly how it all works. Welcome to ESL Mobile, the home of mobile esports. ESL Mobile is a global program designed to give you an opportunity to compete in your favorite mobile games, featuring multiple game titles, taking place in 3 regions and offering 2 levels of competition. There's something here for everyone. ESL Mobile Open is the gateway to competitive play, free to join and open to any resident of our supported regions. This is the best way for you to enjoy the thrill of victory and take your shot at winning cash prizes. Each season of Mobile Open will consist of 2 ladders, and the top competitors from each will qualify for the Mobile Open play-ins. ESL Mobile Challenge is your path to glory. If you are a top competitor in the Mobile Open play-ins, you will earn a spot in the Mobile Challenge season. The top team from each ladder will skip the play-ins and qualify directly for the Mobile Challenge season. This is where you'll have the chance to compete against the best players in your region. At the end of each season, top Mobile Challenge players will compete in the Mobile Challenge Finals to determine a winner and be crowned their region's champion. ESL Mobile is for everyone. This is your opportunity to join a diverse and growing community of players across the world and see just how far you can go. You heard it there. It's all about pushing limits, all about seeing how far you can go, all about constantly testing yourself. And considering now, here at the end of week number 3, we're looking towards play-ins, we're looking towards the end of the first ladder. I mean, now's the time to really step up and prove what you can do.
I don't even know how we're already in the 3rd week. The time has flown by, but like you said, we're looking forward towards plans. Things are slowly coming to a close. So it's this is where it starts to get spicy here because it's that last ditch effort to get those points in.
Can I make it to that cutoff point? Can I make it to this next stage of competition? That's kind of what it's all about. And that's what our recap show, of course, is all about. Looking at the best plays, the best players and teams from the last week's worth of gameplay and highlighting, showcasing them here on our show. And as always, we start off with Brawl Stars. Glitter, you want to take a look at this leaderboard?
I would love to take a look at this leaderboard because we're obviously going to see a lot of names that we do recognize from our previous weeks on here. I mean, Tribe Gaming has just been so dominant so far. Once again, though, Paul, IX with both of their teams up here in the top 8, that's huge for them.
Yeah, this is 2 weeks in a row now that IX Gaming has pretty much been in this exact same position. STMN also been up there near the top, and I have to keep looking back towards Tribe Gaming. If you're a fan of competitive Brawl Stars here in North America, Tribe Gaming is a name that we keep coming back to, and it's for good reason. They are almost 100 points, like 70 points-ish ahead of their next team. That's a crazy spread when you think about it. But hey, this is only the top 8. There's, again, top 16. That's what we're looking at here. And a lot of really, really good teams. Aphelion coming up there as well. the winners like Gamertag. Like, there are a lot of teams that I have to say are really close to sort of breaking into that next level.
Yeah, and what's even crazier for this second half of the leaderboard is that now last week we only saw one team on this page that was able to break above the 1K point mark, but now we've got two, which means the level of competition still is somehow managing to continue to step itself up. So great job to these teams.
Oh, 100%. I think that's a great thing to note here. Sort of, we're trying to look at our benchmarks. We're trying to sort of set some goalposts here so that those fans, the community at home, can say, okay, here's what I should be keeping an eye on. And breaking that 1,000-point threshold, that is certainly a big deal. So more teams that can do that here, really just showing how this competition is continuing to elevate. And what better way to elevate some of our knowledge as well than to get an expert in as part of the show. Ash, Brawl Stars has it, breaking down all the action from week number 3. Let's take a look.
What's up, guys? I'm Ash, and welcome to week 3 of the ESL Mobile Open, where we're going to be covering the best games this week from North America. And the map we're going to be covering today is Double Swish, which is one of the most important maps in competitive Brawl Stars. There are 3 brawlers that reign supreme on this map that you guys are going to see the pros use a lot of: Sandy, Terra, and Jean, which is also funny because they're in the same family trio. That's awesome. So let's dive into the first game. Alright, our first matchup is going to be between Double O versus Tribe Gaming, and we're going to have a mirror matchup. Whenever you have a mirror matchup in Gem Grab, the most important thing is to pick up gems, because everything else is equal but the gem spawn. Now right here at the left, we're going to have both Easy and Toast doubling Raz to take him out or push him back. Fade's going to be on the right side winning his lane, looking great for Double O. Fade's going to use his gadget, recover back to full health with that Sandy. Perfect plays by Fade so far. Toast has his pull. He's gonna go for a quick pull on Corey. Excellent 3v2 again, and now Zulan does have his pull, but he can't really pull Fade because Fade's at full health. He's gonna get pushed back on the left, but now again Toast and Easy are gonna double team Raz. Just great teamwork between Double O here. Fade got pulled, but it's fine. Toast is gonna play it smart, pick up some gems, and then just retreat with those 5 gems. He's gonna be taken out, unfortunately, here by Raz. And now Easy's back with his super. The good thing for Double O here is they have their supers ready, and Easy's gonna use his speed to get back into play. Fade's gonna win his matchup right there, taking Corey out. Toast has his super, but Easy's gonna be taken out by Raz on the left. So it's a 2v2, looking very equal now between the two teams. Zulan has his pull, Toast has his pull, and it's gonna come down to which Max uses their super first, supports their Jean for that pull, right? So right now, Easy's working on it. He's gonna support Toast right now with that speed. Let's see, Toast is gonna go into that sandstorm, conceal himself so he can get the better of the enemy, right? So now Double O in control over the mid. They got the 3v2. It's 8 to 7 gems. They definitely don't want to get pushed back here though. Toast being careful when picking up that gem, because look, Zulan has his pull. Zulan could go for the pull. 9 to 7 now. Easy is at half health. He's gonna need to recover. Toast is gonna move up. An excellent pull. What a pull by Zulan, getting the enemy gem carrier, the enemy Jean, allowing them to grab all the gems. And I believe this is gonna do it. Zulan just gonna play it safe. He's gonna stay back. So how did they win it? They won it thanks to Zulan's very timely pull. We're gonna look over that right now. How did he manage to do that? Okay, so I had to watch the replay on this like a million times to really understand how Zulan was so confident in himself to make a pull like this to win the game. Guys, he went for a blind pull. What a blind pull is, basically a Jean pull against an enemy hidden in the bush without seeing them. Zulan didn't see where Toast is. He was able to predict where he would be and win the game. So how did he know? It all started right here when Easy used his super to support Toast with that speed, and that pretty much triggered Zulan. He knew that, yeah, hey, they're gonna use that speed to pull my teammate Corey, who's hiding right here, right? Who's right there in the open. And this pretty much gave Zulan a really good idea that they're gonna push up in a split second in this point right here to go for the pull on Corey, allowing Zulan to then use his super in this direction and go for this pull with a high degree of confidence, guys. and it paid off so much. Stealing all the gems to secure the win. Just an amazing play by Zulan. All right, our next game is going to be between STMN Esports versus Double O. We're going to have OG running Bo this time. I love that choice. Bo is an awesome brawler on this map as well. And then we also have Toonie, Yeezy, both running Terras. Terra is amazing on this map. On the left side, we have Toonie and Bobby working together to take out Fade. And now they have control with 3v2, pushing the enemy team back. Toast is going to need to move all the way back. He does have 3 gems, and now he's going to be supported with speed from Fade. That's going to allow them to push up a little and try to get control back. Easy doing a great job activating those mines without getting hit by them. Toast does have his pull right here, but he's pretty low. He's not going to be able to go for a pull yet. He needs to heal up. And on the left side, Toonie doing a great job pushing Fade back and charging his Terra Super. So Toonie getting very close to his Terra Super, but is going to be taken out by Toast. And now Fade is very low, and it's going to allow Bobby and OG to work together and try to push Fade out of there. And great mine placement by OG to open up the mid. And now Toast can't really use any of the bushes to conceal himself. On the right side, Easy's very low. He's going to need to heal back. Toast has his pull as well. Bobby has his pull. Both Genes have their pull. So it's going to be very important not to miss the Gene pull. Bobby with great confidence taking Easy out with that pull. And now STMN in control over the mid with the 3v2. It's going to go back and forth though. Double O looking really good with 9 gems, but they don't have a pull. Their Terra doesn't have pull. Their Gene doesn't have pull. Toonie has his pull, and Bobby now has his pull as well. He's going to use his Vision and Super. Unfortunately, missed that pull. That would have been huge had he gotten that pull. So nice dodge by Bobby right there. Toonie has his pull now, and now he can push the enemy back using his presence. Now, this is an 8 gem to 10. It's not over. As long as you have mid control right here, you're gonna have enough time to grab the 10th gem and tie things up. So as you can see, preventing the countdown. And now STMN in control. They've taken control back. OG's gonna place his mines at the middle just for some area control. It's not over yet though. Double O in control now, being able to push the enemy back, and they can get that gem and prevent the countdown. OG's gonna get the best of Toast right there. Toonie's gonna solo pull Fade, and now Easy forced to make an aggressive play, unable to come up with an answer. Bobby's just gonna put the finishing touch right there with that pull, and that's going to be a victory for STMN Esports. Very back and forth game between these two amazing teams. Well, those are some amazing games from some of the best players in North America. Hope you guys had a lot of fun, and as always, I'll see you guys next week. For now, let's head back to the desk.
Double O, a team going up against some very recognizable names in Tribe and STMN, and actually holding their own pretty well. Those were some pretty close games, but that Tribe game, Paul, the blind pull from Zulan, and not just the blind pull, but Zulan in general, because this is now the second week in a row that I've brought him up. I mean, he had the clutch save last week against Redbutt, and now he's got the blind pull this week against Double O. He's stepping up to the plate for them.
100%. I mean, all the players on that team are insane. There's the reason that they're number 1 on the leaderboard, but it's individual plays like that. You know, in esports and gaming, we talk about the idea of clutch or kick, the idea that when your back's against the wall, either step up to the situation or you let it overwhelm you and you crumble. And time and again, Zulan is stepping up to the plate, showing that it's all clutch, no kick, and it's those big openers, the initiations, the playmaking that's really, you know, separating Tribe Gaming from the rest of the pack. And Glitter, that's our first game in the books, though, already.
Done and dusted. It's gonna fly by fast here, Paul.
I know. The first one's done. Thanks so much to Ash for breaking it all down for us, and thanks so much to everybody, all you at home. Follow us on social media and use the the command, not the hashtag. You can also use the hashtag exclamation point. It wouldn't do anything. Exclamation point social in the chat to find all the links to social media. Keep up to date, whether it be our overall ESL Mobile program, to stay up to date with how that's progressing, whether it be your individual game titles, so you can follow all the updates there. Make sure that you're getting involved over on social media. But like we said, That's game number 1 in the books. Clash of Clans is coming up next. Glitter, we'll be back in a few.
Welcome back, everybody, to the ESL Mobile Open. I am Glitter Explosion.
And I'm Invero.
And we're switching it up on you a little bit this time. I'm starting it, and Paul has to catch it, and I love it.
Look, it's a skill. There's delay and a little bit of lag, but we make it work almost every time unless I mess it up. So
we are consummate professionals, Paul. Now, we just buttoned up all of our Brawl Stars action for the week. We're going to be moving into some Clash of Clans. And this week specifically, we had a lot going on.
So much going on. I mean, we can take a look at the leaderboards, but one of the things that really stood out to me was how many teams are getting involved up here at the top, how close the scores really are, how many insanely tight wars there were. 1 star, a handful of percentage. Sometimes it was less than that. It was absolutely wild this week. Teams are continuing to step up, and just looking at this, all these different names that if you're fans of competitive Clash of Clans, you're going to recognize.
Absolutely. I mean, specifically, we had talked a little bit about happy endings last week as a team that kind of came out of nowhere, managed to get themselves 3rd place. But look, not only did they get it last week, they're maintaining it this week. It was not just a one and done situation. Okay, they're here to play, and they're not even that far behind some of the best teams that we have right now in the ESL Mobile Open.
100%, not just a splash in the, a flash in the pan, a splash in the pan, not just not just a one and done. I'm very excited to see how they can continue to advance. So take a look at the rest of our top 16. A lot of additional names here you guys are going to recognize. War Agency, of course, and Zombie Doom, a finalist of seasons past for ESL Mobile Open. So excited to see them here in the top 16, see if they can continue to climb up the ranks. And look, all I know is that what's so cool about Clash of Clans. Is Clash of Clans one of these games that has this great mix between like what's in favor, what's the meta, what are the best strategies, quote unquote, but then also like what you're comfortable with, what you have experience in history and doing. And it's this great meld and mashup of this, because some players will keep playing their favorites and making it work as long as possible, and some will just go with the meta. And I love seeing these different players pull out these different specialties.
Yeah, it's that mixture of strategy, but also what they know to have been proven successful in the past. Are they willing to take those risks when the new metas begin? Does it work out in their favor? We actually we have those same questions, and there's probably some answers here coming up for people too. So, Paul,
I would say probably some answers. Who better than Eric to provide those for us this week, breaking down a ton of different wars. So let's send it over to him to recap all the action for week number 3.
Hey, thanks guys. It's been a wild week here for Clash of Clans as the teams continue to battle for those top spots on the leaderboards, and we'll see which team ultimately rises to the top. Let's go dive in to week 3's highlights. It's OneHive versus Space Station Gaming. OneHive's been on a little bit of a hot streak this week. They played 7 times and they won 6 out of 7 of those wars. But unfortunately, that still only puts them up to number 7 on the leaderboards because they've had a little bit of a rough start to the season. They are playing against Space Station Gaming for this war here, and this was the only war of the week here that they lost. Space Station Gaming was able to maintain their number 2 spot on the leaderboards after Lexnos came in with here with this Sui Hero Lalo. Not a Zap Lalo, not a Blizzard Lalo, but a straight up old school Sui Hero Lalo, where he dives the heroes into the town hall. He had the RC go pull the CC. He didn't run into a lava hound, and we kind of expected that, seeing that the CC is so far from the town hall, it would be a damage CC, making so that the heroes dive into the town hall and take it out. They still have to deal with a whole bunch of other very, very threatening troops to a Lalo. They decided that they wanted to go with that kind of an attack. And he did, but he got the RC to pull the CC and draw the mass headhunters that came out down to the heroes, and he could have taken them out with a lightning, but he held it. The poison had it under control. He has ice hounds instead of lava hounds here, and the reason why he chose those is because the air defenses are right next to those multi-infernos, and so when they pop, they freeze up the multi-infernos and protect the Lalo. Now with no zap, he had tons of extra spells here, but he had a couple extra defenses standing on the board here, so he had to use those spells to protect him on his way in. He sends the Stone Slammer forward deployed to drop a dragon out onto the enemy queen, and then heals up the balloons, and then tons of freezes and tons of haste can protect the Lalo as they go into the final defenses. He's still holding 1 freeze and 1 haste at this point. He has the lightning that he hasn't used yet, but he freezes up the sweeper, and then he can reset the beam on that single inferno with lightning. Don't let it go to waste. It was originally meant for headhunters. If he had like a super minion and headhunter CC come out, he could poison up the minions and then use the lightning to take out the headhunters, and that would have dealt with the CC. But since the poison had it under control, since all the headhunters were grouped up, he was able to hold on to that lightning, and he was able to come in here and use that spare lightning to go in here and just help the Lalo. He didn't really need it. It was basically swagged here. Lexnos crushed this base, and they are currently right behind Lost Meta Gaming on the leaderboards. Lost Meta Gaming, out of the 1,253 points that Space Station Gaming is holding, they're only 5 points behind from first place. Now here's a team that we've been itching to get our eyes onto. This is our number 3 on the leaderboards, who came out of nowhere last week, just rocketed up to number 3, and they maintained it through week number 3. They are currently on a 10-win streak. Embers Rising is the clan that they're playing out of, but their team name is Happy Endings, and it's awesome to see a team rise out of nowhere and contend with some of the top teams in North America. He comes in here with a Zap Kill Squad Lalo attack, starting with the log launcher up in the top corner with the heroes to break off to the left. The log launcher looked like it was primarily there to go take out the Eagle Artillery and the Expo and form a funnel for the heroes. He even threw in a rage onto the Yetis there as they popped out to make sure that they got that entire compartment down, and the Queen was able to go take out all the buildings from the edge of the base all the way into the center, where he used lightning to take out that multi-inferno. By taking out that multi-inferno in the very center of the base, a lot of players like to put their red bombs into the middle of the base, and if you can prevent your Lalo from ever passing through that area, a lot of times you can avoid a lot of those red bombs. And if there are any along the edge, then the lava hounds can pull them out, especially when those hounds start popping, and they can deal with them that way. And that way they're not a major threat as the Lalo works its way in. Now look how far the heroes went all along the left side of the edge. They went down and got the Queen, they got the RC, they took out a Mole Inferno, they got the Eagle Artillery, and he was able to push his Lalo seamlessly, like a straight line, directly into the Town Hall. The ward ability, able to easily protect them as they work their way through that, and then he ends onto the single Inferno as the Lalo arrives and meets with the Queen at the end of the base here. A couple backside balloons, clean up all around, and it's no wonder that happy endings with an attack like this was able to rise all the way up. The Queen even broke the wall and took out that single Inferno at the end of the attack. That was crazy. And our Unicorn now switches over and goes and starts healing the Lalo. Beautiful stuff here. And we'll see them more as the weeks continue. If you're one of these teams that is up on the very top end of the leaderboards, and you match one of the teams that is relatively low on the leaderboards, and you lose to them, that can cause a massive transfer of points and make a team like War Agency drop from the top 10 all the way down to number 13 with just a couple losses during the week. War Agency has been hammering through some bases all through the first 2 weeks, and then they dropped all the way down to that number 13 spot. One of the teams that beat them, which was one of the higher teams, which is why we're highlighting this attack here, was Train Station Gaming, a sister clan to Space Station Gaming, hence the name up in the corner. Now, this attack was really significant because they just had a balance change here for the Town Hall. The poison damage at the Town Hall ramps much more quickly than it used to. So if you path your healers over the Town Hall during a P.E.K.K.A smash, a Yeti smash, or a Super Witch smash, then it can be devastating and it can wreck your healers. So this is a different approach here. We got to take notes from the pros here at War Agency of how they made their way into this base. He drives the King into the Town Hall. Another option is how we saw Lexos do it, where he drove the heroes into it, or we send a blimp or something other than the main force of your attacks there with the healers. The healers lag behind and they can sit inside of that poison and it can wreck them and it can make an attack fail a lot of times. So he has the Siege Barracks work in the top corner. That releases Hogs. The RC works with the Hogs there as the P.E.K.K.As charge right up the core of the base there with the King form one side of the funnel, taking the Town Hall, the Warden Walk form the other side of the funnel, and then the Rages as it gets to the middle of the base there. And if he can keep the healers alive, then these attacks can be very, very effective. And War Agency has been using this attack as one of their staple attacks that has been very, very good for them. A lot of teams have, actually. This attack is very, very strong. We highlighted it during week 1 and it's not going anywhere soon, but we just have to make some small adjustments so we don't lose our healers after that update. And we'll see how the teams adjust here as we continue through the weeks here, but it does limit your options on how you can attack a base, and it takes out some of the easier attacks and makes them a little bit more complicated. So something to think about here as we move into your own wars. But looks like Joe from War Agency had this one under control here. He sweeps around with the P.E.K.K.A as they get out of the back of the base there with the healers intact. The Queen survived up at the top edge. The RC didn't quite carry it through, but he had plenty of time here after a short Warden Walk to circle around and get things done. So we'll see how War Agency recovers here after their losses. They are currently 14-6 for the season, and there's a lot of teams above them that have 6 losses as well. Like One Hive, for example, we just saw, they have 6 losses and 12 wins, and they are pretty significantly above War Agency right now. So overall, the leaderboards are actually really close. We're only a couple wins or losses for any of these teams to swap positions and change the leaderboards dramatically. So I've noticed a trend while watching all of these Space Station Gaming wars, and there's a reason why we keep highlighting them. A lot of their wars end up very, very close. I feel like every time I watch one of their wars, if their opponent gets 10 stars, they get 11. If their opponent gets 14 stars, they get 14 or 15 and like win on percentage. I don't know what it is, but it seems like every single time they just barely edge out their opponents, and one of these times it's going to catch them. So we'll see as the season progresses here. But this attack right here from JD9 was a perfect example of just don't give up. If you're going through your attack and things are going wrong, you don't give up. He sends in another super wall breaker to open up access to the town hall, but the queen is not going that way. He ends up wasting his queen ability and a freeze as the single inferno locks onto him, and the queen goes for a walk towards tons of expos down the line. The healers start to get targeted. Luckily, they find safety up ahead though. He dropped in a bunch of minions on outside to try to correct the queen's path, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough, so the queen marched down the aisle there and wrapped around the town hall. Now, he can't really Lalo through the town hall at this point because the town hall is not activating. It just sailed right past it. It's a big problem for him, and he has to make some major adjustments. He fights the CC right here, and it looks like a bunch of archers and headhunters pop out of there. The king almost got that multi-inferno down at the bottom edge of the base here, but the queen dies to the CC, and he has the healers immediately transfer over to the RC, acting quick on his feet here. He deploys the RC and doesn't waste the healers. Now he's doing a Royal Champion charge, but he still has to get the Town Hall. Now, we can't let the Lalo go to the Town Hall because they're coming in opposite of the Town Hall after things were going wrong. So he sends in the Blimp. The Blimp snipes the Town Hall as the RC walk continues its way through the scatter shots and into the multi-inferno in the middle of the base. Luckily, the Blimp is able to get the Town Hall down after popping multiple freezes on it to try to protect that dragon as long as possible. And now the Lalo will have to work its way in through the last couple Inferno, but the RC able to take out that centered multi-Inferno. And like we saw in those previous attacks, we want to avoid those core areas of the bases with our Lalo. We want the RC or the lightning or something to clear the core of the base there so the Lalo doesn't have to pass through there, and the RC did exactly that, and the Lalo carries through and brings Space Station to Gaming to victory once again. What a crazy war this was for them, and they've had a lot of crazy ones throughout the week. He even swags a jump after that. He obviously had no use for it after the queen went the wrong way, but just brilliant stuff here from Space Station Gaming. These teams are fighting tooth and nail for these top spots on the leaderboards, and we'll see which teams ultimately rise to the top. All right, Inverum and Glitter, back to you guys at the desk.
Okay, we saw a lot of Clash of Clans action in that. Eric, you just killed it. However, we kind of alluded to it going into that video. Now, those teams or the players coming into Clash of Clans, we were talking about how they need to be able to adapt, right? Is it strategy? Is it with their comfort zone? Is adapting to the new meta? The final game, SSG versus Black Zone, we literally watched how you have to be able to adapt when things aren't going the way you would have initially thought they were going to go. And JD9 did very well for himself after he accidentally wasted that queen and recovered very nicely. So that was impressive.
It's not easy to do. And this is something, you know, Clash of Clans is all about the prep. It's all about the strategy. You've usually got a spotter with you when you're playing to help call things out. You're eyeing for traps, all that kind of stuff. So to have something go that horribly wrong and still be able to recover really is just the hallmark of a veteran experienced player, is not letting it get under your skin, not letting it, you know, get you riled up, but just instead keeping calm, adapting, and doing what you need to do. So just no, incredible play. And I'm so glad we got to see so many different attacks from so many different teams, really trying to highlight and showcase as much of this skill as possible, which is great. So again, yeah, huge shout out to Eric. And wow, week number 3, insane in the books. And it's crazy to think about, Glitter, because we're getting towards the end of our first ladder. This is it. So I know. So I'm going to say exclamation point sign up with a slight caveat. Go, if you don't have an account on ESL Play, go do that. Go get yourself set up and be ready to sign up for our next ladder. At this point, things are getting down to the wire. Really just trying to identify those teams that'll be advancing on to the play-ins or winning that prize money there at the end. But if you want to get involved, the next ladder is starting a week from now. So Glitter, to those people, they should look towards that.
Do it. Sign up for it. You've seen how crazy this first ladder's been. You don't want to miss out on the next one.
100%. And that's the second game in the book. Clash of Clans is done. It's time to hit the track with Asphalt 9. We'll be back in a few.
ready for it. Ready for it. I go 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 ready for it.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the ESL Mobile Open. I am Glitter Explosion.
And I'm in Verum.
And we have just wrapped up an insane amount of Clash of Clans action. And now we are moving on to one of my personal favorites in Asphalt 9. And Paul, this week did not disappoint.
It certainly did not. I mean, so much amazing action over the course of the last week, and Asphalt 9 was definitely no exception. But before we get too far into it, before we hit the track in earnest, I have to give out a shout out to AnyKey. I have to talk about AnyKey, this amazing organization initiative we are so happy to be part of here at ESL, in particular, the Good Luck Have Fun pledge. Over the last year, we hyped up getting to 1 million signatures. We've since crushed that 1 million signature goal, but it doesn't mean that the pledge has stopped being important. Between, obviously getting a global badge on Twitch, that's nice, but it's what it represents, Glitter, that's important.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, diversity, inclusion in gaming and esports is obviously very important, something that is very near and dear to my heart. I am one of the people that has signed this pledge. So I actually want to take a quick look at a video with some very recognizable faces to talk to us a little bit about the initiative.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
I mean, look, if you don't take our word for it, listen to some of these other folks as well. Listen to Smix and Nothing, whether you're a fan over the PC side here on the mobile side, it doesn't matter because it is still an important initiative to get involved with. Speaking of getting involved, lots of players continuing to show up week over week for Asphalt 9 Legends. But again, it seems like the cream is rising to the top over on iOS. Once again, Yogg Saron is up there with a blisteringly fast time.
You know, a great analogy. First of all, this is now the second time we've seen Youngster on here on top for our iOS leaderboard, and he just seems a little bit unstoppable right now. You can see the difference between first and second place. It's close to a full second, and with what we saw last week, as far as the difference between even just iOS and Android, that's a pretty big difference.
Oh, for sure. I mean, when you talk about multiple like tenths of a second coming in here, and then, yeah, even 1 to 8, like that's nutty, because these are the best players in North America, and Yogg Saron is out ahead. But again, some other names in there, of course, content creator like Marf is up there putting out a really impressive time as well, almost sub 76, which in and of itself I feel like is kind of that mark that a lot of these players are aiming for. And this is only on iOS. Android as well continued to deliver.
And then on Android, we're actually going to be looking at Proud Papa this time in first place, just above RPM Justin, who was our leader last week for Android, but obviously both of them from RPN, so this clan's doing very, very well for themselves. But the times from Android to iOS are so scary close.
It's insane just how close these top players are. And I mean, I could talk about it. I could try and break it down. I could try and dive into the minutia and hyper analyzing all the tips and tricks, but we have an expert for that. Ferrum is here once again to break down these races, and Glitter, I am going to spoil it. It was really darn close. Let's take a look.
Thanks, Paul and Glitter. The third week of Asphalt 9 Finals has come to a close, and today I'm going to be breaking down the track, the routes that the players took, as well as looking at the top laps and seeing just how they managed to pull off such insane times. My name is Ferrum, and I'm so excited to be your co-host for the North American division of Asphalt 9 this season. Last week, we saw RPM Justin and Yogg Saron walk away with the victories on their respective platforms, and this week they are back along with some familiar faces and some new ones. So let's jump right into it and check out how these players routed the track to get the best time possible. So this week the track is Himalayas, and the variant being played on is Mountain Poles. At the very beginning of the race, you have a choice of whether to go to the right or to the left. In the old days of Asphalt 9, where people didn't know as many tricks, it was faster to go to the right because it was pretty simple. Over there it's pretty much just straight, and there's 2 360s that you can do, and that's about it. Going to the left though is indeed faster if you're able to do it just right. Typically, the way that it's done is picking up the first yellow nitro, shock waving, then braking, picking up the blue nitro, and then shock waving just off to the right of the ramp here. This gives you a low barrel, which keeps your speed a lot higher than if you were to just go straight up the ramp, which is what people used to do and why it did not used to be faster. Then after the barrel, you get the yellow nitro to do either a shockwave or a double nitro off this little bump here to gain some more speed. And when you go off this ledge, you have a choice of either just going straight if you have enough nitro to do so without losing a bunch of speed, or 360ing to gain some more nitro for later. We've seen racers do it in different ways. If you 360 early, you'll probably have enough to shockwave up the next barrel, but if you just go straight, you'll save some speed earlier, but then you won't have enough for a shockwave later most likely, unless you pick up all of the blue nitros around the turn. Then after landing from the barrel, you again have a choice of whether to go left or to the right. The left way is always the better way because going to the right is just a lot longer, and there's really no reason to go that way at all. Now on the left, you can choose whether to either go up just the first barrel and go high, or go low on the first barrel and then go high on the second barrel. Theoretically, going low on the first barrel and then high on the second should give you more airspeed overall, and so that is what most of these racers decided to do. After this, there's a pretty long section where most of the racers will use the brake nitro trick to conserve their nitro so that they can then shockwave up the first barrel, then hit the second barrel and go pretty high on that one, because since you already have momentum from the first one, you're not going to lose a lot of speed from going high, and you can just keep that good airspeed longer. Then coming into the ice cave, there's another little bump again. There's a bunch of these little bumps around a lot of the tracks where if you know where they are and you go off them at the right spot, you can gain some airspeed, especially if you have a shockwave, even though you're not going too far off the ground. So that's what most of these racers will try to do. And then coming up to the ramp, you pick up the yellow nitro. This might give you enough to do a shockwave. It's best if you can, because there is a special trick here. You can go into the wall, and if you do it just right, it will shoot you up into the air and allow you to gain some airspeed, but also take a slightly shorter route over the little separator in the middle of the track. Going over the ice lake is always the best way here, because if you go to the left, it's a pretty twisty way that just loses you a bunch of speed, and you pretty much never want to go that way over to the left. So going across the ice lake, there are some snowy patches that if you're in a car that is not as agile as the Cayman, you will have to do perfect nitro to get over without losing speed. However, the Cayman does not have to do that because it's one of the cars that doesn't lose much speed when going over rough terrain, even in single tap nitro. Then we get up to the final 2 turns. It's best to get the blue nitro if you are running out, and then try to cut the corners as close to the inside as you can. Now this you really do need to use perfect nitro for, because there is more rough terrain and you are turning as well. Also, if you're in a good handling car, you can go to the left of this truck to get an even better racing line, and this concludes our routing and tricks on mountain poles. So let's now check out the run of the first place contestant on Android, Proud Papa. So he goes over to the left, as is faster in most cars, drifts a bit so that he can shockwave up to his top speed, then brakes so he has shockwave at the time he goes off this ramp, goes just about as low as you possibly can to keep up that good airspeed, then picks up the 1 yellow nitro to shockwave and gain a bit of speed on the bump back there, and he tries to stay in the air as much as possible through this section. I mean, that is pretty much the best way to gain a lot of speed in Asphalt 9. He doesn't have enough nitro for a shockwave, but he does do the double tap nitro off the ramp, then shockwaves upon landing to keep a bit more of his speed, then saves up so he can shockwave around this corner, which he can do because this car has quite a good drifting radius, goes off low on the first ramp so that he can reach the second ramp and go even higher, then does the brake nitro trick through this section to conserve nitro so that he can again use shockwave to go up these next 2 ramps. Proud Papa is just flying through the air on the Himalayas on mountain poles, as this variant is called, as he enters the ice cave again, going up a bump to gain some more speed, then shockwaving off the ramp into the wall to launch himself into the air to gain even more airspeed. You see a common theme here. Then all that's left is to perfect nitro around the last couple of turns, being sure to go on the inside of that truck to get the shortest line possible, and Proud Papa finishes with a time of 1:15.041. But how will his lap and time compare to that of Yogg Saran, a returning player from last week's qualifiers, where he got first place on iOS then and is again picking that title up this week? His beginning lines are practically identical to that of Proud Papa, going low on the ramp, again picking up this nitro, going off the bump. There is a very well-honed path on this track that these players have found to be the best one. One difference, he does do a 360 off those ramps so that he can actually shockwave off this jump. That's an example of losing a little bit of speed earlier to gain a bit of speed later, and it doesn't seem to make too much difference in this race. He also takes the same route on the 2 ramps, gets 3 barrels instead of 2 on that one, although he would have had plenty of nitro even if he had not, again coming up to these ramps and flying into the air with his shockwave. And so far, the only real big difference that we've seen between these 2 players' routes is doing that 360 and then doing the shockwave off the ramp earlier. Let's see if he does anything different in this section coming up to the wall. Nope, he does the same thing, flying into the air across the ice lake to skip a little bit of a barrier in the middle of the track back there. Again, taking the most inner lines he can through this section, and crosses the finish line for a final time of 1:14.944, just barely inching out RPM Proud Papa. This is an even closer finish than last week, quite literally being within a 1/10 of a second of each other. This is certainly not something that happens every day between the top players, but since these guys both drove such a similar route, let's check them out side by side and see if we can spot any minor differences that we might not have been able to when just seeing them one right after one another. And so far, their speed, their racing line, everything seems almost identical. Yogg Saran got a slightly lower barrel, but they both landed almost the same place, and they reached the nitro bottle at the exact same time, almost being carbon copies of each other. I mean, you might suspect I just put the same video side by side if the 2 players weren't driving 2 completely different colored cars, but here's where we can see our first real difference, where Yogg Saran does the 360 off that ramp. Proud Papa gains the slightest amount of speed over him, so he is a little bit behind, but he's able to shockwave off this ramp, which does give him faster speed in the air toward the beginning, and so they land at about the same spot and pass by the truck actually with Proud Papa in the lead by a good little bit. So where do the tables turn? We'll have to find out. Well, here Yogg-Sothoth does take a slightly shorter line around that corner, and then Proud Papa takes a lower first ramp, but Yogg-Saron takes a lower second ramp and then hits the ground first. And we can see as they go by the end of this bridge, they're almost neck and neck again as they both use the same break nitro trick to conserve their nitro for the shockwave before this next ramp. And Proud Papa hits the shockwave slightly earlier than Yogg-Sothoth, giving him a little bit better speed going into the air, and so he goes off the second ramp slightly ahead. And now we have another little difference. Proud Papa drifts upon landing after shockwaving for a little bit, so his shockwave is able to last longer when going off this jump here. And so we can see that he actually has a slight bit of a nitro advantage above Yogg-Saron going through this section. And this allows him to shockwave up the ramp into the wall, unlike Yogg-Sothoth, so he's able to get a little bit more speed quicker and lands just slightly ahead. So the final turns must be the decider in this race. They both take the yellow nitro bottle, but again here Proud Papa does have a little bit more nitro. However, Yogg-Saron does take slightly shorter lines, and although he does run out of nitro toward the very end of the race, they cross the finish line at almost the exact same time, Yogg-Saron just pulling out slightly ahead of Proud Papa. And I wouldn't be surprised if next week's races are even crazier. So this has been your recap of the third week of Asphalt 9 qualifiers. We've seen Proud Papa return, we've seen Justin return, and we've seen Yogg-Saron return for 2 first place finishes in a row. Will he do it again in week 4, or will we see some new challengers in the game? Only time will tell. And if you're thinking, yeah, I can probably pull off a great lap like that, by all means, go play the event. The qualifiers are still running, and if you get involved, you might have a chance to get casted by me in one of these recaps, as well as in the final rounds, which will be held on May 16th. There I will be joined by Enverum to cast the best races of the best. Back to you, Paul and Glitter.
I mean, all I know is it's going to be a heck of a lot easier to get laps like that when you have Ferrum breaking it down. I mean, the nuance in this game, Glitter, like, there are some moments there where I'm like, if you took the best parts of, like of one turn and the best parts of one ramp and a little bit of nitro conservation, but then the lines that we saw Yogg-Saron do at the end, like, you'd have the absolute perfect lap.
Right? And this point, I wasn't even sure if it would be possible, but then seeing both of those races, I mean, honestly, if I didn't get to see them side by side, I don't even know that I would have been able to tell the difference. I wouldn't have known how Yogg was able to even sneak by with that time, just barely besting Proud Papa. I mean, the skill that we just saw out of the two of them, like Ferrum was saying, less than 1/10 of a second. We thought last week was close. Less than 1/10 of a second. How? I
mean, we just have to look. I'm glad I have computers. All right, we have computers that are doing the timing for us, not having, imagine the person standing there at the end who has to physically click a little timer. Like, good luck. Not happening. Out of our own capability. But no, certainly not out of possibility to see even closer races in the future. Hundreds of seconds. Let's get there. But no, let's also get all of you over on social media getting involved as well, keeping up to date, not only with the program as a whole, but also with your individual games. And, we're going to be joining in there as well. ! Social, because there's been so much great mobile esports action over the last week, and it's only continuing.
It most certainly is. I mean, that's our halfway point for the day here, Paul. So we're going to say goodbye to Asphalt 9, but when we come back from this break, we'll be saying hello to Clash Royale. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Think
welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the ESL Mobile Open. I am Glitter Explosion.
And I'm Inverum.
And we have had a good day here so far, Paul. Now we're going to be kicking everything off with Clash Royale, and this one is not going to disappoint, just like none of our other previous titles have.
No, I mean, look, we've seen some nail biters, some back and forth, some crazy close games, close races, whatever it have been, and Clash Royale continues. Look, I've seen the footage. It continues with that trend, and it's like the second you think one player is about to take it. I'm not saying we're having players holding strats till we're like 20 seconds till the end of OT, but I'm not saying that. It gets down to the wire, and again, looking at this leaderboard, a lot of familiar faces, and hey, even some new ones.
Yeah, I mean, this leaderboard alone is kind of alluding to what we were talking about. There have been some serious change-ups here. Obviously, you know, every week can be a little bit different. You never know what you're going to get. But Jaco has obviously been our consistent leader. Still very, very close. Only 5 points away from number one. But moving down the list, we still see Ruby. We still see Zod. I mean, they're unstoppable.
I mean, just crazy that this pack has just been up there so consistent. Yeah, we have a new challenger up there at the top, but I got to give some shout outs to the consistency as well of Jaco and Ruby and Zod. Smurfblade dropped just a touch. Like I said, some new faces coming in as well. Kasim, another player we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on. The attack is there as well. Just again, so many of these really fantastic established players. Spicy Nachos also up there at the top, able to break that 1K point mark.
I'm sorry, but I love that name. That name is just so good because it's fun, but also it alludes to their skill level, okay? They had some nice games this week, and I'm excited for you guys to check those out.
As am I. I am really excited to see the breakdown because, like I said, I may have glimpsed the tape in advance, and I know what we have in store for all of you, and it's a lot of really, really solid games. Rich Slayton is standing by. He got a chance to take a look at these games and break it all down, so let's take a look.
Thanks, Paul and Glitter. I'm Rich Slayton from Clash Royale League. As we go into the third week of action in North America for the Clash Royale Mobile Open here at ESL, new decks and new challengers continue to emerge. One major combination that's taking the game by storm and no different here in ESL is Mega Knight and Graveyard. MK and GY go so well together because of the defensive utility of that Mega Knight, able to clean up so many popular decks at the moment on the defensive side, and then create a huge counter push, tanking on the other side for that Graveyard. What makes Mega Knight so good in this matchup, though, in this current situation, is that it's so versatile with Mega Knight and Graveyard for the other cards that you put in the deck. You can switch in so many combinations. Spells, you can put in Fireball, Log, Snowball, Arrows, whatever makes sense for the matchup. In terms of support cards, the possibilities seemingly are endless. So Mega Knight Graveyard right now, the deck that is totally dominating and maybe a place you should look if you're trying to compete in this ESL competition. Not only are new combinations and new decks taking over the competition here at ESL, but new challengers have entered the arena, and one in particular should make a lot of people very nervous, and that is Vanguard and Team USA player Kazim. Kazim has jumped in with 3 quick wins, and he is a very, very solid player with tons of competitive experience. An 82-88 personal best on ladder. That's right, 8K personal best with 6 finishes in the top 100. On top of that, he's currently 63rd overall on the Clash Royale League worldwide leaderboards, which puts him within striking range of qualifying for World Finals. Kazim's entry into this competition should put everybody else on notice because he is an immediate contender for the title. Talking about new players, we have had some shakeups at the top of the leaderboards this week. Some names you'll recognize, but some names have fallen out of that top. One of those being Zod, no longer in the top 3 at the moment, but of course still in the top 10 overall. Hanging on to that number 3 position right now is Ruby, who had some pretty good wins, capitalizing on mistakes of his opponents, continues to do what he's been doing throughout this competition. Took a big loss to Smurfblade, though, which meant giving up that second place spot by just a hair. We do have a new leader overall here in the ESL North American region. Jaco has not played since the 16th of this month. A solid rating right now with 9 wins and 1 loss. Maybe playing it safe could work for him, but at the moment he's been overtaken by a new player, Bocce, or Baki. Bocce is clearly a step ahead of the competition right now, making some really great plays, and going to a record of 10-1 currently on a 7-game winning streak. So we currently have a new leader. The question is, how long can Bocce hang on to that, and will Jaco pick up his phone once again? That's it for our recap. Now it's time for the game of the week, and as I said, the action's heating up all the way across our rankings at the moment. Here we go with a match from our top 10, featuring our number 9 ranked player, Spicy Nachos, up against current number 6, has fallen out of the top, but looking to battle back, the Canadian Smurfblade. Here we go, jumping into the action. Spicy Nachos, top of your screen. Smurfblade at the bottom. Smurfblade currently 7 wins and 2 losses overall in the competition. Spicy Nachos 4-3. And Smurfblade opening up with what looks like might be P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam with the Royal Ghost behind King Tower. Dark Prince in response. Bandit making almost assuredly we are going to some variation of the very popular long-time archetype. Spicy Nachos so far showing 2 possibilities, either Graveyard or Electro Giant. Lately this has been more Electro Giant with this combination, but could be going the Graveyard direction, kind of a Splash Yard variant for Spicy Nachos. Does draw first blood with a couple of shots here for Spicy, down to 21.93 on that left-hand side. Barb Barrel makes it feel more like Graveyard at this stage, and there comes the Battle Ram to pick up. Does not stop the shot, so 20.34 on that left-hand side as we pass the first minute of regulation time. Another Royal Ghost in the back right now for Smurfblade as Spicy Nachos picks up there with the Goblin Cage. Brawler going to meet at the bridge against that Royal Ghost. And Smurfblade now just cycling cards in the back. Probably knows he's against Graveyard. Does not want to overcommit. That NATO, really ill-advised NATO out of Spicy Nachos, was trying to maybe go for a fancy move against the Dark Prince on tower, but against a Bandit, she was going to dash up there either way. So a bit of a misplay there by Spicy Nachos. Not going to get punished for it too much. Will end up about a half elixir behind at the moment and might take 1 shot from this Magic Archer, potentially 2 here. But definitely not the play that I would have recommended for Spicy in that case. Getting a bit too fancy for his own good here as we go into the final 10 seconds before double elixir time. Ice Wizard and Goblin Cage working fine here against that Battle Ram. We'll clean all that up in the middle as Smurfblade now switches lanes. Has not touched tower yet, but Spicy Nachos has put over 500 damage on that left-hand side. Bandit to support here, and now Dark Prince will pick up the Bandit and Royal Ghost with support by that Baby Dragon. Look at the leaked elixir difference, by the way, at this stage so far. Only 2.5 for Spicy Nachos, nearing 5.5 right now for Smurfblade. But Smurfblade now putting the pressure on the right-hand side. They don't call it bridge spam for no reason. Going right at the bridge there with the Battle Ram. And now switching lanes again as Spicy Nachos as Smurfblade does get his first damage of the game as we approach the final 30 seconds of regulation. Bandit working against a Dark Prince, and look at that, a Lightning in, so maybe we are. With the NATO, we're going back to Electro Giant, and not going to be the Graveyard deck. I mean, it'd be crazy to see Graveyard with Lightning, but you got to imagine it's Electro Giant at this point, and those 2 decks certainly share a lot. P.E.K.K.A. will be nice against that Electro Giant, as well as the E-Wiz to slow things down if necessary, assuming that's what's going on. And here, look at this. NATO trying to pull back that Battle Ram. Poison gets in. Battle Ram connects somehow. Smurfblade doesn't just get on tower, but runs absolutely roughshod on that right-hand side. The NATO work so far from Spicy Nachos has certainly left something to be desired. Royal Ghost now playing defense on that right-hand side as we are in sudden death overtime. E-Wiz now cycled in the back here to play defense against this Baby Dragon. We'll see at what point Spicy Nachos decides to pull the trigger, but knowing he's up against a P.E.K.K.A., I mean, if he was playing Graveyard against Poison, that's a big trouble. And of course, if he's playing E-Giant, which is what it looks like he's doing, up against P.E.K.K.A., that's no good either. Take a look at this now. The Magic Archer not able to be protected, but just playing the bridge game right now is Smurfblade, setting the line high. Royal Ghost plus those barbs will go over to the Goblin Cage here and release that Brawler. Now Spicy Nacho setting up the opposite lane. Does he throw an E-Giant in front of this? No. He's forced to play defense on the right-hand side. He has to get Electro Giant down at some point here. That Dark Prince, though, with the help of the Lightning, does get through a little bit and forces out the battle ram. Now things are fairly close. 12-24 to 14-98, and the Barb Barrel pulls back the Bandit, but only for a moment, meaning that Dark Prince has to come out on defense as well. Pretty tight right now, a little over 220 at the moment separating these two with 40 seconds left in triple elixir. This is the time the E-Giant would come out, and here it goes. E-Giant right into the P.E.K.K.A. with a little bit of support, but Mama P.E.K.K.A. plus Bandit plus E-Wiz. Lightning trying to make room though. Lightning does get damage on tower. Electro Giant does not. 1194 to 1224. This could be an absolute foot race here. Poison and Zap versus NATO and Lightning. We'll see who comes out on top as we go to the final 15 seconds. Magic Archer trying to make room for that battle ram. Not going to happen. Does need to control that Baby Dragon left-hand side. Ewiz goes and picks up the Baby Dragon. That is not the Electro Giant you want to play at this stage of the game. Has to use the NATO defensively. That's going to give up some opportunity. The Lightning comes in. Zap tries to steal it back, and Spicy Nachos steals this one by such a slim margin. 108 HP. Lightning beats Poison, and that is a big-time win for Spicy Nachos in our number 9 spot. Man, what a great finish. That's why I love Clash Royale. Close, down-to-the-wire games. You get some all the time, and it makes the game so exciting to play. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I know I did. Hopefully I'll see you here next week. Go to play.eslgaming.com to register, and you can be part of the North American region for Clash Royale. I'll see you next time. I'm Rich Slayton. Back to you, Paul and Glitter.
108 HP after all that. I told you it was a nail biter. That was a war. Back and forth, so close. Held onto that Electro Giant for so long, only to bring it out right at the end. Used it when back was against the wall. I mean, yeah, Glitter, that's some prime Clash Royale.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying. Spicy Nachos, we had some stuff to look at for them, but also, I mean, you called him out when we saw the leaderboard, but Kasim, 6 finishes, Rich was saying, are in the top 100 so far. 63rd overall, just globally, worldwide leaderboards. I mean, that is somebody to keep our eyes on.
Anybody who can grind up to 8K is doing some work. Let's put it that way. Definitely a player we're going to keep our eye on for sure. And again, if you want to be one of these players that we're maybe going to be keeping an eye on next, sign up, ! Sign up. Like we said before, we're drawing to the close, the end of this leader or this ladder now, but doesn't mean you can't sign up, get some great games and get some experience in, but look towards the next ladder that's starting next week as well. Definitely keep an eye out for that one. If you're a Clash Royale player in North America, test your mettle, win some prize money, and hey, get casted by us. But hey, we're going to do a short break. When we come back later, it's all about PUBG Mobile. So we'll see you in a few. everyone. Welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open. I'm Inverum.
I'm Glitter Explosion.
And we're here with our fifth and final game of the day for recap number 3. Time for PUBG Mobile. We've seen amazing games in Brawl Stars, Clash of Clans, Asphalt, Clash Royale, and now it's time to expand a little bit, at least the number of players in the lobby, as we're taking a look at PUBG Mobile once again.
Very excited. I'm always very excited for PUBG Mobile, but we're going to take a look here at our leaderboards, and you can see that Kultu has just been dominating the leaderboard this week.
It's almost a 300-point split from 1 and 8.
That's I don't think we've seen that any other week so far. Like, this is the strongest week that we've seen.
And it may have something to do with Kultu BGBG putting up 11 plus chicken dinners. That's like a good number of chicken. I mean, frankly, there are only 7 days in a week, and if you're having 11 chicken dinners, I mean, I guess some of those are lunches at some point.
I mean, we're going to see some other names on here, you know, that I loved that. I think that was great because it does apply. But we've also, you know, we've touched a little bit on Los Infiltrados. We've touched, we did have Jukes at one point touch on Astralis as well. So there are other teams up here that we have had our eyes on. It's just this week, Kultu cannot be ignored. So let's take a look at the second page here. And there's still teams that did very well last week, still making it up here on our second page.
100%. So many teams that we've seen consistently placing well. Passion Fruit, Eaststorm, V2, Null. Again, some squads that go back a long ways in the ESL Mobile Open, continuing to show up here again and again. It's all about consistency. We talk about it so much. It's important in other games. But I don't think quite as much so as a game with as much random chance and elements like a PUBG Mobile, where things are going to change on you, things out of your control, things beyond your reckoning. And it's all about trying to take those different variables, account for them as best you can, and play the best game you can. And consistency is a key part of that, just executing your strats week over week.
All day. We could talk about this all day, but I doubt people want to hear from us. We can actually check in with Jukes and see what he thought of the games from this week.
Yo, what up, Inverum and Glitter? How y'all doing? Week 3 is now in the books. And I ain't gonna lie, when it came to week 3, I thought that things were gonna slow down by like a lot because, you know, 2 weeks have been played. I figured that teams are gonna start dialing things in, that initial nervousness will go away. But I kid you not, just like Glitter's predictions during the PNPL, I was totally wrong. There was nonstop action from start to finish among all the groups. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys some of my favorite plays that I caught in week number 3. And I'm gonna start off by showing you guys my favorite. That's right, the Hot Jukes play of the week for week number 3. Let's get into it. And here it is, baby. My play of the week is gonna go to none other than Rulo from Kultu BGBG. Now, this squad have just been shredding the battlefield. This was actually their 11th chicken dinner we've seen so far in the ESL Mobile Open. And right now they're rocking a 3-man squad. Rulo's the last one up, and he has to make some plays. And oh boy, is he gonna do them. So you're gonna see right here, him just being very patient, snaking, has that smoke, has a little bit of cover, gets this beautiful spot on Tat. It's gonna take him out, and now it's just one squad left to go. But if you can just see right now, these guys are in big trouble because you got 3 of their members that are stuck at the bottom of this hill, and they can't get, they've fallen and they can't get up. They can't get up in Inverum and Glitter, and they are struggling. You can just see them trying to figure out what is the play. And to be honest, this is all on the back of Jinx. Jinx has to make a play against Rulo in this 1v1. This is for the chicken dinner, really, at this point. Because right now, so far, Kultu BGBG have 5 kills. Now, look at this right here. Drops, you would see so many players run away instantly. Rulo, ice water in his veins. Just looks down, oh, that's a smoke. Nothing to worry, I'm concerned myself about. Gonna go ahead and just start hitting some flicks, get some moves, catches Jinx slipping while the blue zone starts closing. And I mean, just beautifully executed. That is the play that needed to happen. Now you just see Rulo just gatekeeping, just saying, all right, I'm gonna hang up here on top. I know that these guys are completely stuck down there, and you can just see Papa Blue, the main teammate, just putting in the work. And I think you see Rulo trying to go for some extra kills, but at that point he's like, I'm not gonna risk it. I'm gonna take that chicken dinner to the bank. And after seeing this play, I mean, I think Kultu BGBG are just gonna start running away with this tournament at this point. I mean, they are just
dominating the whole battlefield. 11 chicken dinners so far. They put up an insane amount of kills. This is the squad that you got to keep your eyes on for when it comes to future stages. All right, we're going to start things off in Miramar, baby. You're going to see right now Extreme Ice Esports cleaning up the battlefield. This was on day 1 of week 3, group 9. You just saw that beautiful double kill with that nade. Got the crate, gonna get that nice level 3 gear, but he ain't even gonna need it. That's gonna wrap it up. Big chicken dinner for them. Moving on over to Arigale. Now this was played on the same day, same group. This is team 4. This is Heroes team Valorous. You can just see them trying to make some plays here. This is right near Yasnaya. You're going to start seeing a little bit of urban combat towards the edge, but still trying to make some plays. Myth's going to get that nice confirm onto Jeff. Going to go for the instant flick, and he's going to get it onto 13. Beautifully executed right there. Now, the rest of his team, they need to get into this blue zone, and he's going to lead the charge and be able to help his team get there. And he's going to hold that position for so long, have that DP, and look at that spray. 6x DP coming up huge, and Myth, I mean, just straight crushing it. 6 kills, and you can just see, it's like he's got blood in his mouth. He's got the taste of it, and he wants some more. Like a shark in the water, he's gonna try to help his teammate, and he's gonna do it. Myth putting the squad on his back. 12 kills for this squad so far, and they're not done yet. You can just see Myth. Look at the side-to-side strafe. Oh, when you see this, you just know for a fact they're coming in hot, and they just start running over everybody. It's almost like they're playing this like a classic at this point. That's 15 kills. 15! And now they're just trying to get the last one. And guess who it is? It's Step Bro. And of all things, he's stuck. He's stuck in the building, and we know from history that is not a good thing. And you can see Myth looking to get the finish. Coming around, not going to be good enough, and you're going to see one extra shot from his teammate, and that's going to do it. Beautiful tag team to finish things off. Moving on over to Group 6, we're going to see Mandilones here. Now, this is a team that is not even in the top 20 of squads, but you can just see the effort that they're putting in to try and climb up the ranks. Beautiful little nice play here to just lay down, blow up the vehicle, play it safe. They still have 3 remaining teammates, and they're pretty split up, but they do have a pretty good control of the vision of this field. And you can just see some nice smokes coming out here from Milky Cito, trying not to get caught out, and he's trying to get to his team. That's really the big thing, trying to be able to make it there. It does get pieced up a little bit, but you saw it was almost like a bait. A beautifully played there from the side to be able to get those 2 shots. And that from here, look at how much vision they have. They have a total lay of this land of the field, and they're just going to keep on using that advantage for the rest of the match here. Now, you see Milky, again, just stuck behind those vehicles, try not to get caught out while the rest of his team is just putting in a lot of work. You can see Rosito here getting some beautiful shots. Now, this is on to DNA. Trunks, a player that I know can definitely hit those shots, but at the same time, there's only so much you can do in the position that you're in. Almost through it, because you just saw you can't give up on DNA just yet. You got to make sure that that squad is completely finished before you start trying to make plays downfield. And you can see Rosito, he's trying not to make that same mistake. He's like, yeah, I got to focus on these guys first, and then I'll worry about everyone else after that. And oh man, just beautiful shots. Beautiful shots right here. DNA, they're just stuck out in a really terrible position. Not much that they can do. And they're just going to get pieced up little by little. Now, I'm glad that we saw Rosito here not go for the revive. If he did, I think that would have cost him the entire game. But he realizes, he knows, like, hey, I cannot be out in the open. I don't have enough data. This is a very thin tree. A very thin tree to be behind. It don't matter, though. This man's got the laser. Now, moving on to day 2, Group 3, Game 2. We're going to see Exodus here in Miramar, laying down the law. Beautiful hill control. 10 kills so far. Nice using that bug, and he just full sends it in. Nicolito getting lit up in the house, and you're going to see him getting a nice little 1v1. I would like to see him utilize his team a little bit better, especially in this position. Like right here, you just see them all 3 versus 1. That's the play to make. You don't want to take risky 1v1s for any reason, but it doesn't really matter. When you've got the skills to pay the bills, this is how you do it right here. And you can just see him running away with it. 14 kills. Nicolito with a nice little jump switching to FPP 180, showing off the moves, trying to catch him in a 1v1, and they're going to do it. I mean, they're just going to hold the top of this hill so well. 17 kills. Glitter in Virum. Look at this. Make it 19. 21. I tell you, this is just absolute insanity that we're seeing from this squad. 25 kills. This is, in my eyes, this is the record. I have not seen any more kills so far in the ESL Mobile Open. 27. They're not done yet. They are not done yet. Exodus literally staying true to their name, getting a massive chicken dinner. And if you thought that it wasn't enough, look at this. Game number 5, back in Miramar. We're still on Exodus here. At this point, they own Miramar. They have bought the lease. They have bought the rights. This is their property. Another chicken dinner. Staying in Miramar, but we're changing things up because we're looking at the squad Game Changers going up against Chronic here. And for a second, we've covered Chronic in the past, and they usually have these type of situations. Game Changers, though, looking to change it up on them. Look at these beautiful peaks, though, from TT. Being able to get that nice clutch, and you can just see this movement looking beautiful. Chronic trying to finish this out. It's a 1v1. I mean, it's really up to the wire. Whoever's going to get this is going to get a ton of kills and the chicken dinner. And you can just see the battle of attrition. TT gets some beautiful shots on the Lucky. He's 1 HP. He's switching over to the Mini because he has no more ammunition as AK. And Lucky has nothing else left. That is going to do it. Staying on the Miramar train, we're looking at Zone 7. Zone 7 here, again, 7, making some beautiful plays. I love to see this teamwork right here. That pre-fire, allowing his teammate to kind of rush in. It's just beautifully executed. I love the fact that you're starting to see a lot of these players switch to FPP. That's a pro tip for anybody that's watching this. Switch to FPP when you're inside of buildings. You're able to get those nice flicks just a little bit quicker than when you're in TPP situations. Zero, look at those. I mean, just activating the laser. At this point, Zone 7, they have the entire lay of the land. They're just trying to now get more kills, get more points on the board, and that's exactly what they're doing. You're gonna see Zero here with the nice little peeks back and forth, still not trying to stand a little too far out in the open. He does have those smokes there. The amount of vision that they have, this is an easy dub here for Zone 7. Now on over to Erangel. Here is Team 10 here for Group 8. This is New Generation MX. This is the squad that was currently in number 2 position at this point. And they're doing the work. They're trying to catch up to Col2 BGBG because they are just dominating. But they still have something in the bag. They have something to prove. They want that number 1 spot. And you can just see the amount of persistence that they have here. Beautifully grouped together, getting some nice shots. That was a little bit risky. That was a risky one. He knew it. And you can see the rest of the team not trying to take those chances by any means. Full lay down, got the DP spray coming up, nice smokes, and they're gonna go for this reset. Yeah, you're gonna see Sad blow up that buggy and gonna be able to get that pickup for a second. He does get pieced up little by little because the opposing team is doing some great shots through the smoke, trying to be able to get some picks, and they did get a couple of shots, but it wasn't gonna be enough. At the end of the day, New Generation MX just running through the battlefield, cleaning things up. You can see Docs in here with that Tommy gun up close, running straight into the smoke versus that Uzi, and he's gonna get the dub. Now we're going to take a look at Los Infiltrados. This is a squad that, you know, I definitely have highlighted, and you're going to see them just continue to assert dominance, making some plays, getting it done. Now, this is the number 3 squad at this point in time, and they're trying to do the same thing. I mean, we're seeing a lot of these Hispanic teams just run away with this. I mean, they have just been playing this so well, and I think we're starting to see a lot of these teams south of the border. One thing that they have in common is the aggression, that pasión, that Latino heat, getting on fire, and you can just see the way that they play this. I mean, just so separate, but so confident, just hitting those shots. You can see the communication that they have, the synergy. It's just beautiful to watch. You can see 7 Clutch right now. He's just trying to get all the intel for his squad, while Nakara is so focused. I mean, he's basically tunnel vision on Pajam because this is a free kill, and he's gonna throw out those nades. He has to get forced outside of that tree, catches him out in the open. Just beautifully done. Beautifully done here from Los Infiltrados. I think we're starting to see a lot of these Latin America teams just really just step up. Now, these are all, I mean, when I mean Latin America, I mean south of the border. These are, of course, still in NA, and I just love to see squads, you know, from the home continent get it done. And you can just see Los Infiltrados just having their way at this point. This is just fun for them. You're gonna look at them go against Team 13. Now, this squad, they haven't really had the best of luck so far in this tournament, but they're holding it down. They're holding it down pretty well. But Los Infiltrados, they just have it done. They just got their number. And you can just see that beautiful off angle from across the way. And at this point, it's just a matter of time. You know who's got the dinner. It's Los Infiltrados all day long. 14 kills, make it 15. And that's going to be one more for them. As you see David just hiding for his life. And that's the game. All right, so that's all I got for you guys for week 3. I hope you enjoyed my recap here because I sure did. I mean, just seeing some of these squads step up the way they have is just nuts. Col2 BGBG running away with this thing. Exodus getting like a 30-kill chicken dinner at Miramar and then winning the next one that they played. It's crazy. It's crazy. I can't wait to see how week 4 goes. And for anybody that's watching this right now, remember, you can still get in on this. Go click the link in the description. Make sure you go sign up with your squad, and hopefully I'll be able to highlight you guys in week 4. So, in Virum, Glitter Explosion, I'm gonna send it back over to you guys, maybe to wrap things up. Let's go.
Mr. Hot Jukes, I'm going to be remembering that low blow for a while, sir. Okay, will not forget that. However, some of those plays we saw out of those PUBG Mobile players were also unforgettable. I mean, I need to start with Myth on HTV.
And we were talking about it, while the video was playing, looking back at it, and you posed the question: is this, is this the nature of the lobby? Or is he maybe, are the players maybe not absolutely quite at the caliber that could punish him, or is it really just this player is that good? And looking at Myth's movement, looking at his shots, I don't care who's on the other end of that shot. Doesn't matter. You're playing up against some of the. I said this before. I got like Xenox vibes from this, just the way he moved, his movement so fluid. And again, I forget watching a lot of these good players that they're playing on phones because I don't move like that. I am all over the place, and no, it's really impressive. And look, also maybe another team coming out here and dropping what might possibly be the highest kill chicken dinner that I've seen over the course of the Mobile Open ever.
I can't. I mean, I don't even know how much PUBG Mobile I've now seen at this point in my life. And in any competitive setting, I don't think I've seen an almost 30 kill game. Like that. Can you come up with one?
I think 26 or 28 might be the highest I've ever seen. And that 29 beats both of those. That's how math works. In any case, just an incredible day.
Follow-up win on Miramar 2, Paul, for that same squad.
Look, the bar is just getting raised week over week over week, which is fantastic. Not just here in PUBG Mobile, but across all of our game titles. We can talk about some favorite moments to the day. Glitter, you start. What were some of the moments that really stood out to you?
I think, obviously, the almost 30 kill game it's going to be I can't not say that it's one of my highlights because it is. But the movement out of Myth was something that I love seeing showing up here in the Mobile Open. But then also, I gotta give a little bit of love to Clash of Clans because specifically Happy Endings, one of those squads that nobody had known, and we've said this a few times specifically about this event, is that, if you are someone trying to make a name for yourself, this is the place to do it. And Happy Endings is doing exactly that in Clash of Clans. So that's another standout moment for me.
100%. I have to echo that. Clash of Clans really stood out this week in terms of overall action. Teams and players are starting to get a firmer grasp on the meta. Town Hall 14 now had a few more weeks to work with and deal with. I also think Brawl Stars was huge. That map breakdown that we got to see there from Ash, I think really was, I opened my eyes up for sure, just learning more about the nuance of it and how certain brawlers, if they can get that initiation going, how good teams will capitalize and follow up every single time. And the hallmark of Brawl Stars isn't just necessarily how you can hit your shots, but how you can play with your squad, which I think, it's a good feel-good moment here for us in the Mobile Open. And it feels even better when all of you fine folks engage on social media. Wow, that's a transition for you. Exclamation point social in the chat to find everything there. And of course, sign-ups. The next ladder is starting next week, right up at scratch. Everybody starts at 0 all over again. So if you've been tuning in, watching, waiting for your opportunity to think, maybe it's never too late. But B, now is definitely the time to look to get involved. Go make an ESL Play account. Yes, you saw it down there. Glitter, I think this is basically it. What are your final thoughts as we say goodbye?
It's been great so far. I don't want to say goodbye, but it's time. I'm excited for next week. We've got a lot of stuff coming up, so I'm just going to enjoy the way that it's gone so far and look forward to next time.
You said it. Week number 3 is done and dusted. Week number 4 is right around the corner. More action like this, plans as well. I cannot wait to get into all that action from us, all of us here at the crew. Thank you all so much. See you next week.
See the light, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark. No fear, getting ready for the ride. Yeah, stepping into the light. No limit, aim high. No limit, the price is mine.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Ay, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up.
wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. All we know is ball to empty out the mouths. The chosen one they call, I take my fan with me. Know about it if you tell, know you're breaking codes. Want your credibility and all fall like dominoes. Can you really take a stance? All I wanna know. Need me real ones when it's time to go. Stepping in, elevator. This is to all the haters. That's all we know when we level up. Yeah, that's all we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. I found out I'm not alone, 'cause I'm just like you. There's no failing when we fight. We're not afraid to. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. Feel the lights, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark. No fear, getting ready for the ride. Yeah, stepping into the light. No limit, aim high. No limit, the price is mine.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Ay, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. All we know is ball to empty out the mouths. The chosen one they call, I take my fan with me. Know about it if you tell, know you're breaking codes. Want your credibility and all fall like dominoes. Can you really take a stance? All I wanna know. Need me real ones when it's time to go. Stepping in, elevator. This is to all the haters. That's all we know when we level up. Yeah, that's all we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. I found out I'm not alone, 'cause I'm just like you. There's no failing when we fight. We're not afraid to. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. Feel the lights, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark. No fear, getting ready for the ride. Yeah, stepping into the light. No limit, aim high. No limit, the price is mine.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Ay, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. All we know is ball to empty out the mouths. The chosen one they call, I take my fan with me. Know about it if you tell, know you're breaking codes. Want your credibility and all fall like dominoes. Can you really take a stance? All I wanna know. Need me real ones when it's time to go. Stepping in, elevator, deuces to all the haters. That's all we know when we level up. Yeah, that's all we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. I found out I'm not alone, 'cause I'm just like you. There's no failing when we fight. We're not afraid to. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. Feel the light, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out.